Check my slides. I have a very simple mandate, yet critically important. It is to reiterate what we already know, and to call on all leaders gathered here to reflect on what I have titled the high cost of leadership negligence in people matters. What is the cost the company pays when we neglect people matters? It is to encourage all of us here to use it as a lens of reflection, accountability, and action. This is a serious call. So over the next few minutes, we will be looking at an example of a leader per biblical standards. We will be looking at, we'll drive it home to the Jospon context. And then we'll look at some of the leadership gaps that were identified when we had some focus group discussions way about 2 years ago. And then its cost, its direct costs on us as a business, the drain on the value as a business. We'll be looking at some silent culture killers, and then a proposed action plan. Then we conclude. The Bible tells us, he's given us several examples of who a leader is. I won't bore us with the definition because many of us have read so many definitions of who a leader is. But we have several examples in the Bible. And today, we want to focus on one leader, and this leader is Joshua. Those of us who are very familiar with the Joshua story, Joshua was called into leadership at a very critical moment when Moses had just phased out, he had passed. So it was a moment of great transition. When he was called, when God called Joshua, the responsibility for the people, their safety, their future, and actually their destiny rested heavily on Joshua's shoulders. God's charge to him was clear, but very weighty. He said, "Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the laws. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left." This call was a call to discipline. Media, can you please help? Okay. It was a call to discipline, it was a call to obedience, and it was a call to people-centered leadership. Joshua was reminded that any form of negligence, leadership negligence whatsoever, was not only going to cost him, it was going to cost an entire nation to lose its inheritance. Fortunately, his leadership proved very successful. Why? Not because he was superb, but it was because he led with clarity, he enforced the spiritual principles, he ensured that he confronted leadership decisions, disobedience when it arose, he sought counsel, he aligned leadership decisions with moral and spiritual principles. So as a result, battles were won, people were united, and Bible records that the Lord gave them rest on every side. This is a powerful indicator of leadership done very well. Dear leaders, just like Joshua, we carry a very weighty responsibility, not just for strategic outcomes or profitability, but for the people that has been entrusted into our care to lead. When we neglect people matters through our inaction, our silence, our poor judgment, or misplaced priorities, the consequences are profound. We are talking broken trust. We are talking damaged cultures. We are talking reputational harm. And we are talking lasting human cost. This story of Joshua reminds us that leadership is indeed a privilege and stewardship. Our theme for today, we're saying that the Lord is our shepherd. So just as the Lord is shepherding us, we all as leaders also have the mandate of shepherding others, being a steward. This is a great mandate that we do not have to take for granted at all. Now let's drive this home. Why does this matter more now than ever? Why not now? That's the question. At the core of all that we do, we have a total of 6,244 staff. These people lie at the core of all that we do. All the successes that we chalk over the period are achieved through these people. And our diversified portfolio is our strength. However, it becomes our vulnerability if we allow people's issues to fester without resolving them. Now, we're privileged to conduct some focus group discussions some time back. And a few of the issues that ran through, we had a cross-section, we had a discussion with a cross-section of our people. And some of these people issues that came up, I have highlighted a few. The very first one, which runs through, please note that all these things that we see here are things that runs through all the sittings from across the country. And the very first one was failure to act on known issues. Leaders are perceived as being fully aware of the issues at hand. But for some strange reasons, they are slow to act. Either they are slow or unwilling to act, or for whatsoever reasons. And these were leading at the time. This is what our people are saying about us, that it was leading to frustration. People were getting disengaged, and there's loss of trust. The second one is weak communication and lack of feedback. Communication is perceived to be one way. This is what our people are saying about us, leaders here. Employees will escalate things, their concerns, but they will rarely receive feedback. This creates uncertainty and fear. They are saying that information from leadership often does not trickle down in a timely manner. I remember when the issue of opportunities within the group were raised, what I said to one of the teams I met was the fact that, we usually send, because we want to give people in-house the first right to apply for when there's any vacant role. We do an internal advert first before we go out if there is a need. And they are like, well, we don't see it. It doesn't come to us. And sometimes if you are even fortunate to see it, that will be after the deadline has passed. People are afraid of being victimized and low psychological safety. Across groups, employees express fear of retaliation for speaking up. I recall sometimes when we have meetings, you hear people say, when we go, we'll talk. These are issues we are going to talk. We'll be bold, we'll talk and all that. When we get to the meeting and they start asking questions, anybody has any concern, the whole room quiet. So we ask ourselves, why is this so? Why are people afraid to speak up? Is it that leaders are being too vindictive? This is a question for all of us. The fourth is inconsistent leadership, authority, and role confusion, neglect of basic operational and welfare needs, absence of clear career progression and development pathways. Hopefully, what we discussed, the first presentation by Madam Labi, should be able to address some of these concerns. Unfair and inconsistent reward and compensation practices. People are talking about salary disparities for similar roles and a lack of compensation for additional responsibilities. Unpaid overtime, even when it's a welfare, if the policy welfare requirements is not done, and people are held to ransom, even though we have things clearly stated in policy. All these things are not helpful to the business. Poor use of performance management systems, weak leadership culture, and erosion of trust. The issues of favoritism came up very strongly, but we'll come to that. We'll come to favoritism. Overemphasis on cost over people value. People initiatives are frequently dismissed as costs rather than productive enablers. And HC's initiative, anytime we send our requests, oh, we want to some employee engagement activity, it is viewed as a cost center rather than a strategic partner, limiting leadership investment in well-being engagement and long-term value creation. Clearly, Jospon Group does not suffer from lack of policies, but from implementation, from leadership inconsistency, from delayed decision-making, and in most cases, leadership people neglect. This is impacting our culture, performance, and sustainability. Now we look at the direct costs of neglecting pending people issues. We see this bucket. Inside the bucket is our value, our business value. But this bucket is leaking. Why is it leaking? Because we have failed to address issues that are related to people, and it has persisted over the period. We are talking low morale. We are losing our talents. Our reputation is damaged. It's difficult, so difficult sometimes when you are going out there to recruit, to source for future talents, because what are people who are leaving saying about us? It's a problem. This bucket is leaking, and the call is to all of us to ensure that we unresolved conflicts and other things, lack of resources, personal stress, which distracts us from our focus, are all taken seriously and dealt with. Now we want to move on to some silent killers, culture killers, silent culture killers. I'll focus on 3 of them. The very first one I'll touch on is favoritism virus. We are leaders here. So some of these discussions are hard discussions, but we still will have to say it, so that this is like an appeal to all of us, appealing to our conscience to make things right from here. Thankfully, it's still a new year. The favoritism virus. We find leaders creating colonies. And woe unto you if you are not a son or a daughter of the colony. Forget about resources. This is not helping. It's creating a 2-tier system. It's rewarding connections rather than merits or results. It's demotivating high performance. They are asking, why strive if the reward are already predetermined? It is breeding resentment, and people are working in silos. Teamwork is being destroyed, and it's exposing the group to legal risk. Claims of discrimination. This has to be fixed by all of us, all hands on deck. The next is the empathy deficit, lack of empathy. Leaders are seen to be out of touch. They cannot effectively engage. We cannot effectively inspire people. Issues are being ignored or minimized until they become crisis. then it becomes a mental health issue. People are burnt out. And to top it all, we have people exiting because they are tired. There is no psychological safety. This is not good. This third one is even more serious. Discord sowers. Let's see what the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16 to 19. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16 to 19. If we can please project it. Respectfully, can we all read? There are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him. I have a different version here. So I have the King James Version. So whoever is projecting, please help us. You can project the New King James Version. It says, there are these 6 things the Lord hates, yet 7 are an abomination to him. A proud look, number 1. A lying tongue, number 2. Hands that shed innocent blood, number 3. A heart that devises wicked plans. Feet that are swift in running to evil. A false witness who speak lies. And the last one, which is the 7th, it says, and one who sows discord among the brethren. These people, the Bible says that they are an abomination to the Lord. When you read the book of Romans chapter 16, I think from 17 thereabout, it tells us that people who sows discord, avoid them. Avoid them. It said, mark them and avoid them. These people erode trust. They create mistrust and make it difficult for leaders to build relationships. They will distract you from your goal. Your focus will shift from vision to conflicts. Every time, conflict resolution. Discord sowers, they are dangerous. They split teams, always causing division. Let us beware of discord sowers. Mark them and avoid them as leaders. What is our proposed action plan? Can leaders be intentional about mindset change? I made a personal promise to myself that regardless of whatever happens around me or how anybody treats me, I will never withhold what is due the person. That was my personal plea to myself. Can we have a mindset change on how we view leadership? We shouldn't just focus on just the power, that title that we carry, but on the mandates that we carry. Can we be intentional about leadership training? I'm happy training is coming up strongly today. Training and leadership training, an assessment focused on inclusive leadership, bias awareness, and empathetic management. Can we have a system where leaders are required to regularly engage their teams and help resolve some minor conflicts before they escalate? Because all these things that people are saying about us, are a shame to all of us, respectfully. Can we be transparent, fair, and firm in the implementation of our laid down policies? Can leaders own performance management? Can we enforce and vigorously promote a safe, anonymous channels for reporting grievances and ethical concerns with guaranteed non-retaliation? Can we allocate budgets to strategically solve long-standing systematic people issues? We all want to position Jospon as the employer of choice in Ghana, a brand that will attract and keep the very best. By all means, from the HR front, I think one of the things we will have to do is to go back and to conduct the focus group discussion, because it helps us to know the temperature of our people and what is happening on the ground, so that when the issues come, we are able to tackle them from there. I dare say, people leadership, ladies and gentlemen, is a collective effort. Proactive, empathetic leadership on people issues is not merely an HR function. Anytime we hear people, all we are thinking about is HR. But we all have a mandate. We all carry a mandate. It is not merely an HR function. It is a core strategic and fiduciary responsibility on all of us leaders here. The risk of our inaction, any form of neglect, would directly threaten our resilience, our reputation, and our revenue. You saw the leaking the buckets. It's about time we seal those leakages. What is the opportunity in there for us? By making our people a deliberate and cherished advantage, we will unlock sustainable growth and a legacy of true leadership in Africa. In conclusion, in the book of John, chapter 21, verse 17, Jesus asked Peter for the third time. He said, "Simon Peter, son of John, do you love me?" When Peter affirmed his love, Jesus responded with a clear and unmistakable leadership charge. He said, "Feed my sheep." That reminds us that leadership is not proven just by authority or by results alone, but by how well we nurture our people that are entrusted into us. So if we truly love this mandate to lead, then we must take responsibility for our people. We should listen. We should act. By all means, we should discipline fully, protect, and develop them. Negligence in people matters is costly, but faithful stewardship builds trust, performance, and lasting success. This call on us is simple yet very demanding. If we lead, we must feed the sheep. If we lead, we must feed the sheep. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lady Nancy. Introspection can be a very difficult thing to do, but you must still do it anyway. And she just had to lay the facts just as they are, as difficult as it is. We'll now open the floor for a 10-minute discussion as we did earlier, and before we ask Madam Nancy to take her seat. So the floor is now open. If you have any comment you'd want to make, please raise your hand up. I'll bring you the microphone. It can be a comment, it can be a question, it can be a suggestion. Thank you. Do we have any question, any comment, please? Okay. All right. I think it's a straightforward presentation. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Nancy. You've blown my mind away. Well done. It's
Thank
a
you
very
very
good
much.
presentation. And as I sat there, I've been with this group for a long time. So first I was asking, who is this lady? And then I was told you are the HR. And wow, you've done a very good job.
Thank you very
deserve
much.
this. And this goes to say what Mrs. Florence was saying. You see, you have been in the shadows for a very long time. I've seen you, but I didn't know this kind of talent. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Straight to the point. You gave us what we needed to hear, ready for action, have told us what we have to do as leaders, all of us. Nobody was left out. And I hope that you'll be given a chance to repeat this at a conference, because this is a very powerful delivery. And
you.
I just had to get up to speak to say that I'm blown away, and I'm sure there are many Nancy's here. There are many Nancy's here, and we have not displayed our talents and our inbuilt things. So today, being here, we should all be charged and come out wherever we are hiding. Madam's song said, those that are dead, some of us who are dead, we should rise up. Those of us who have risen up, we should bear fruits. And those who have borne fruit should do what? What was the next line? So please, there are a lot of Nancy's here, including myself. How many of you have even seen me speaking anywhere before? Apart from when you meet in one-on-one. We are Nancy's. Please, this seminar today and tomorrow, let's equip ourselves and come out and then give the best to Jospon. Thank you. Chairman, thank you for
very
this
much.
seminar.
Madam Nancy, we are all blown away by your
No.
excellent presentation.
Thank you.
And I think Madam Stella has said it all. Kudos to you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
I have one question. So, how are internal opportunities communicated? And how do we assure timely access for internal talents? For
Okay.
internal talents, like your very self.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Because I'm blown away.
So usually when there's a vacancy in-house, we even have it indicated in our policy, written down that we need to first do an internal, give people in-house the opportunity, the first rights. So we advertise internally. And this is done through the HC, or HC, not the leads per se, but we have a community. So the HC community, we post it there for them to also share with their respective team members. And so we are expecting that once we send these adverts out, they also will do their part. If it has to be printed out and pasted on your notice boards, you have to do so. At the Apex, we have a common platform, so it's easy to just forward and post it there. And that is how we communicate to our team, apart from what we share, we send out on the Oracle where everybody have access to. But people can miss out on the Oracle adverts, so it's always good if we have the WhatsApp as a backup. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. I join earlier speakers to commend you for your brilliant presentation.
Thank you very much, sir.
On one of your slides, the top 10 leadership gaps from the focus group discussions.
Yes, please.
The very top one.
Yes, please.
Failure to act on known issues. Leadership in action. I recall that at one of the Gumwa sessions, this was a very topical issue, and a framework was drawn where the officer whose complaint might not have been heard had the opportunity to report within some hours. Are we able to assess whether that framework is working? Because I thought that was to bridge that gap of inactivity. Could you please expatiate a bit on that?
Well, I'm not sure whether it's working, because for us to have this here, it means that there are still gaps. So we may have to go back to the drawing board and see whether whatever roadmap we have in place is really working as it ought to work. So this is a call to all of us. From here, we're going to take it up from here and ensure that as leaders together, we can help bridge or close these gaps. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam, for your nice presentation. My name is Yabo Sian. My question is on this same slide. This is a feedback from
From our
our
people.
colleagues. Yes, from our people.
Yeah.
Beyond the appeal, I want to find out what we are doing as a group to address these issues practically. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll quickly mention that there were other issues apart from these ones which are really leadership related. We had issues like welfare. I think it was mentioned somewhere. And on the welfare, thankfully we were able to put together the Jospon leadership, Jospon employee welfare scheme was developed to help cushion our employees. So I must say that from when we did this, we have tried to close some of these gaps, but at the end of it all, we still, the mandate still rests on us to be deliberate about how we handle people matters. Because I remember in one of the discussions, I mean, something as basic as endorse my loan form for me. It was like used as a punitive tool. I need pay slip, and it was a problem. Like some of the issues were just mind blowing. And so today is just a call on all of us. I don't know how many of you have had opportunity to see this, but why this is a better forum for all of us to know what our people are saying about us. If we haven't seen it, then we can take the necessary steps to close those gaps, because it's really a challenge and it is leaking our buckets. Yes.
Thank you very much. Your presentation is quite exciting, especially from you. This young girl who was taking employed when I was a chief COO. I was the first COO of Jospon Group. And she was employed as a young girl, and the progression you have gone through to be on top. And it's the first time I've seen you making a presentation. And it's so wonderful. It's amazing.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
I just want to find out this third one, the fear of victimization.
Yes.
How real is it in Jospon Group? Is it real? I know this is a feedback from the focus discussion.
Yeah.
But is it real on the ground?
If we will be honest with ourselves, leaders have a way of showing pepper to our people. We have our ways. Because then why would people purpose to say that, oh, this meeting, I am going to speak my mind. I will say everything. Only for us to get there and you ask people, do you have any concern? Everybody is quiet. It's real in some cases, because not everybody is able to actually speak up because they are scared of the unknown, what might happen to me if. So we have to, we have a mandate, a role to play here, so that when people are, because when we do that, we kill ideas. People will not be willing to even share innovative ideas and all. It's real, but it may also be exaggerated. But like I said, this came from our people. And so we should check ourselves as leaders here and see whether that is what we are doing to our people. If we are, then we have to stop it. We have to give people reasonable room to be able to express themselves. Yes, please.
Lady Nancy, well done. I'm
Thank
so
you very
proud of
much.
you. Well done. I think what I didn't see on this, and I'm also on the same page, I see that number 4 and 5, you probably repeated it, but what I would have replaced number 5 with, which I'm asking you, is proper onboarding and knowledge institutional or know your company, especially when it comes to onboarding. Because I realize that the process of onboarding, sometimes we think it's being done properly, but it's not. And it's left for human resource alone to handle it. When it's a leadership, again, it's a leadership and a people matter issue. So I just wanted your opinion on that and whether anybody mentioned that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so this is an eye-opener for all of us. Onboarding is happening, but as to whether it's making the impact that we so desire is another thing. And so we are also going to go back to our onboarding processes and see whether there's something that we are not doing right and make sure that we correct it from there. This is an action from us, for us from here.
Madam Nancy, if I may
Yes, sir.
refer to point 3, as Mr. Boate said, at least from my own little experience, it is quite real in terms of some of the, typically the low psychological safety net. What I would like to suggest is that beyond leaders being intentional, I always say that the basic thing you can do is being kind. There's not too much requirement for kindness. But a lot of time people are so broken and the systems must be there to support them. From as a clinical counselor, I would like to suggest, I think I've heard in the past that we're having a counseling unit where people who are psychologically broken or have had psychological issues could be addressed. It's beyond leaders trying to do their best, but having a system in place where people can go and really seek counseling is very critical, and it's part of industrial psychology. So I would like to suggest that if we haven't really strengthened that, it's something that we really need to pay attention to. A lot of things could cause people to be broken beyond the relationship between their leaders. And therefore, that safety net comes in when there is a place they can go to receive the support they would need so that they will be able to perform optimally. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello. Right. I also add my voice to what my colleagues have said about you.
Thank you very much, sir.
We thank God for your life. I'm really, so when you say this is from our people, who?
So we did a survey.
Yeah.
And the net promoter score, we had a negative score. And so we said, negative is not good enough. Can we go to our people and find out what the issues are, why we are getting a negative score? So we went there to, a cross-section of our employees. We met with different people across the regions. And we are talking drivers, janitors, officers, different levels of people. So it is not just like one group of people, but we segregated it. We had several groups that we met. DMs met together. So managers met together. So it wasn't just, we didn't box everybody in a room just to give people the opportunity to be able to express themselves. And these were some of the issues. I mean, there are more, but these ones are critical. These runs through all the groups.
Yeah, thank you very much. So it's a cross-section
of our
and I'm sitting here and I'm worried. Really seriously worried, because it means that if you are working in such an environment, it's serious. And I think they are talking about those of us in this room. Is that the case? So it means that the solution lies with us.
Yes.
So why did you do that? It's serious because it's a weak leadership culture and erosion of trust. And it means they don't trust us. After all the annual leadership programs that I think worked in place, they don't do that. They don't do this for staff. So after all this, it means that the leadership things we are doing is a normal annual thing. Let us go enjoy, talk and come back and continue with the same thing. The environment must change. And we are the people to change the environment. And so how do we do that? I think that is a critical thing. If we can do that, we can add another day to whatever we are doing and make sure that all this, is not good enough. We do a performance management system and it's a farce. And we are all aware and they say we don't use it. All of them. You are in an environment where you tiptoe. And that's not good. So what are we going to do? Those who created it must solve it. and all of us are involved. We must erase this in 2026. So how are we going to do it? So my dear sister Isha, that is my question. How are we going to erase this? 1, 2, 3, 10. And you say even there are more. Right?
Yes, there are more.
And the more, you see, the little foxes, they are dangerous than these ones. So the ones that are not here, they may be dangerous than these. Because if the Bible says little foxes, I believe that. There are other things that are added to this that are more dangerous to this. And I think that as leaders in Josport, we must make sure that the local system is working very well. We're now moving into nations and we are happy about it. And our own backyard, people can't trust us. Erosion of trust. So I think that we have to do this. We have to solve this as soon as possible before we step out. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so I just had to come. I was going to say something on what he has said, and then also on the onboarding. So, Prof. Che, I think we caused the problem, all of us. So before we leave here in the 2 days, we have to give solutions to help Nancy. All of us should be part of brainstorming to get solutions back to fix the problem that we all caused. That's my contribution for the first part. Then the second part is that for the onboarding, what I've realized in most organizations is that when we have the formal system of onboarding, but what happens is that we don't follow it well. So we leave the new entrants to pick from the vineyard. You see, what we are supposed to do, and that is what comes back to this failure again. When leaders, we get new people who have been onboarded and we are supposed to take them through the onboarding process. Some of us share our responsibility and then we leave them, they are stranded. So what do? They fall on their colleagues and ask them, where do I get this? If you want a letterhead, where do I get it from? If you need this, what do you do? If I want to go and say something, who is the best person to talk to? So they pick that information and they actually pick the school from the vineyard. And as you said, one of your slides said we should be aware of people who create the discord. And they are the people they will go to. And then they will tell them, as for here, don't do this. Don't rely on the leadership. Anything you need, come to me. You see, that's what we do. So we said our onboarding should be done very well so that we make sure that those who are onboarded know the Josport values, know the good things, and then they pick it from the right sources. It's one of the things that is killing a lot of companies because the moment you share that responsibility, the leader, and we should do a follow-up to find out whether the person has been onboarded well, understand all the values and things. So in the next month or two, that new person should be monitored to see whether the person is living our values. If the person is not, it means the person has been schooled in the vineyard. If the person is showing those values, it means he's got it for the right source. So this is one of the solutions to, the leaders making sure they do their job so that people are, it's a very key thing that most organizations takes for granted. And then the people settle in and then they also become bad nuts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
So, Madam Nancy, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Mine will be a very brief contribution. Okay, so one thing I saw in the Jospon HC policy, which I found very profound up till now, is the buddying arrangement, where you are paired with somebody who has been in the institution for a period of time, to orient you to processes and systems so you don't find yourself wanting for a period of 3 months. I think that we should really look at that thing very critically. It's a very, very useful tool where in every subsidiary we can deliberately from the top train these people who are acting as buddies in all these institutions so that once somebody comes in, they are able to help the person through the onboarding processes seamlessly. Because as it is, you have people who come and we experience all sorts of cultural shocks because we are not implementing this very effective provision we have in our HC policy, which I think we should look at. Now to point 10, President Kufuor once said, do not be like a people who know the cost of everything but the value of nothing. I have kept that statement till now. And I think as a group, we really would have to look at the issue of point 10. Sometimes we may think that some issues are trivial, cuts in allocations and all those things. Yes, we are an organization. There are years that we may not be doing well in terms of profits, and we may decline in allocations and all that. But to make it a permanent thing, whether we make profit or we do not, this is the allocation. We need to look at it because to people, to another person, it is, do you value me? Do you understand where I'm coming from? They ask themselves these questions. And I think that when we have to take management decisions like that, when it borders on the people we are working with, we always have to make sure that there's a correlation between cost and people value. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Nancy, congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir.
I think like Professor said, this is very alarming. And I think there can't be any better time for us to discuss and fix this other than this time. And the boldness with which you'll be able to lay the issues bare, tells all about who you are. And there's a proverb in my language which says that literally a woman doesn't feel shy when she's in labor. For instance, if there's a pregnant person here and suddenly she finds herself in labor, this is not the time to say that, oh, excuse me, I need something to cover myself and all of that. You have to let the issues very bare as it is so that understanding the issue is part of addressing them. And the alarming side also feeds into the larger perception that people have about us. If these issues are internal, you can imagine, for instance, if you take number 9, weak leadership culture and erosion of trust, and then weak communication and lack of feedback. See, we had a group of people who went to meet some of our stakeholders in the regions. And these are the very things that the people are talking about us. The DCEs, coordinating directors, environmental people, and all of that. You see, so it's a bigger issue. It's not only an internal issue. It's not only our internal customers that are raising the issues about our relationship, amongst our staff, but even outsiders. And I am just wondering, where did we miss our path and we got into all these things? Because it used not to be so. When we started, the kind of brotherliness you know, and the fellow feeling that we have for each other. I just wonder how, as a leader, you neglect your people, they are complaining, you are not minding and all of that. And so I think apart from the systems that you might be contemplating or proposing that we adopt, we need a fiscal structure as well, you know, so that people we can set up a unit. I don't know where to be placed anyway, either at the group office or at the EC's office or whatever. Then they can follow up and do monitoring and get feedback. That is why even at the ministries in the public sector, they have what they call the PPMED, Policy Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation. People go out there, yes, they know that you, the regional director, the district director, you say you've done this, you've done that, but we'll still come and find out and see and get feedback also from the staff. So I think we need a structure also like that to be able to get the feedback, and then if we need to escalate it, and then we also need to have an arrangement where people can find a way to, if it's complaints, structure or route, so that people can, you know, relay that information either to your office or any other office. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for your comments, contributions.
Is there anyone again, please? Okay. So thank you very much, Nancy, for that good presentation.
Thank you, sir, for the questions.
Okay. Please, just a minute. Just a minute. I just wanted to, okay, there's a suggestion about a counseling department by Mr. Noah. It's a very good idea that we should have counseling department, and so that people who are into such issues can be advised. Very good. Then Garaba too suggested a monitoring mechanism that must be in place. I think we should also take note of that, and then also look at it and see. I see these issues that they are, first, if I want to, it should start from me, you see. So I'm looking at myself into this. How do I solve failure to act on known issues? All these issues, I think we have to resolve to solve them from here. And 2026, we have to have some resolutions. I'm humbly suggesting that if we go around again, when are you going to do the next one?
The focus group, we have to discuss and agree a date as a
date. Okay.
Together with the HC leads.
So by 2026, you presume by middle of the year or?
By middle of the year. We should.
So by the middle of the year. So can I humbly suggest, it's a suggestion that from this time up to June, if we go around and find out these same issues in any of your subsidiary, the whole management as we are here must be sanctioned. We shouldn't find this in the next June review in any of your subsidiaries. If your workers complain any one out of the 10, the whole management will be sanctioned. Can we all subscribe to that? The response is not clear. Because we are going to work on it from today so that this thing doesn't occur at the focus review and focus group review again.
Yes, sir.
And I think we are going to go to the regions and everywhere. So if they find this in again, meaning that I have not worked on it, but if I'm going to work on it from January to June, then when they do the assessment, I think positive signs should come. That's all what I'm just saying. And it's from me. I'm committing myself that from this time to June, they will never see this from me.
Amen.
Are we all correct on that?
Yes.
Should we all agree on that one? Okay. So then it's a resolution signed. And we will announce at Kumwa that by June, if they come and find this, there. Do you want to say something? Okay. I know you want to confirm this.
Chairman, thank you very much. But what I want to say is that that may expose us to the first level of victimization. And why do I say this? Once we know that there will be repercussions, subsidiary leaders and management will now begin to say, if you go there and you go and say this, and we hear it, you understand, sir? And then the person comes back to the subsidiary and they are victimized by their managers. I think that it should be an open forum. We shouldn't announce the sanctions to it immediately and let things flow so that we can rather develop a systemic remedy to some of these issues rather than immediately announcing a subsidiary sanction, because the victimization may start from there if we do not take care.
Apologies, I was listening to Reverend Edu, so I didn't get it. I didn't.
Subsidiary, once we know that there will be repercussions at the subsidiary level, now subsidiaries will begin to say that if you go and you don't know and you go and say this, you come and meet us here. Somebody goes to even say it and comes back to the subsidiary. And some of the subsidiary heads and management may, I'm not saying that is what will happen, but may start exposing them to item 3, victimization, and there will be no psychological safety for them. So I am thinking that we should make it an open platform and rather design a systemic remedy for some of these issues that will come up as and when we meet them at the focus group. Because if we immediately announce sanctions, subsidiaries may now also go and build a base so that these things are not heard when we actually need to hear them. Thank you.
We are not going to announce the sanctions to the staff. It is just among us here. The sanctions, we are not going to announce it to the staff. I'm looking at that systemic way of we acting now. You see the point? Because what we did was we set up a 48-hour rule that whenever there's an issue like that is known and it's not being dealt with, escalate it within 48 hours. Even that, the employees are complaining that there's victimization. You see the point? So I don't know what form. And you see, if we want to seriously act, then we must decide on something now. That's why we selected only the leaders here. Jesus said, who do people say now? I think it starts from the leader. Who do people say I am? Then when they finish, say, who do you also say I am? If a leader is able to avail himself to the employees, I don't think. And then, how many of you have done that? That you call all your employees and say, today, analyze me, tell me what my shortfalls, the mistakes I've done, and then I will take it in good faith. I get my point. Somebody should get a mic to Collie. He wants to make a comment here. So that we are able to solve the problem. If we, you see, ask for change, if you are not committed to it, it will never happen. So I'm pleading that if we all agree and will commit, then by June, if we see any of this, and if you start working on it now, it's just a small thing. People matter. Once you get the people involved, things will change. Colin.
Thank you very much, Isi. I would like to suggest that you look at funding support to solve some of these issues. There are some of the issues that have come that have persisted because there was no money to solve them. And that explanation to the worker wouldn't work. Because if there was no money to solve it and it has persisted, and now you say you should go and clear it and there's still no money to solve it, the issue will be there. Do we have some funding support buffer funding support from, say, group office or EC's office to go and solve some of the issues may be small individually, but when you compound them, then you see the value. Then the subsidiary may not be in the position to solve them. And financial issues have been one of the major causes. Some provident funds, because of groups, subsidiaries splitting and merging, at a point there was no money to pay statutories. These issues have been there. Some land issues that have persisted, promise and fail land issues. Yes, so if the subsidiaries cannot do, then I will plead an EC. Take some money from your office and go and fund, yes, to clean the sheet, to fund those pertinent issues and clean the sheet so that the subsidiary heads can now start afresh. Because clearly there's no money to fund some of those issues.
Okay, Kole, I disagree with you totally. The issues is that this thing is over how many years?
2023.
2023 that we conducted this.
Yes, sir.
So 2023, at that time, we were not even in distress. In 2025, we didn't have money. You see, and money does not solve problems. Money does not solve problems. It's leadership. When I met the mechanics, we explained to them that the whole year 2025, we have not been paid. And so these are some of the difficulties we are finding at the workshop. They understood. If you are giving communication well and giving feedback that you are a leader, there's a problem somewhere, you are giving the same, they are human beings, they will understand you. They will understand you. We said we couldn't pay 13th month because we are in difficulty. We explained to the workers. They understood us. So it's not about money. Communication and weak feedback. That is what the issues are. So, Kole, I agree with you to some extent, but it is not the money matter. It is by the communication. When you look at the issues here, failure to act, there are some issues you are failing to act as a leader. And act can be positive or negative. In any way, act. When you're talking about victimization, a worker have come to complain openly. Just listen to him. Absolve yourself that you're also a leader. You can fail. With all due respect, let me just give a sample. Where I said, I received so many complaints. Just last week, I received a complaint. Is Metro here? Metro, the leadership of Metro, are they here? Metro TV, they are not here. Okay, you see. And forgive me that I'm using you as an example. It's just a complaint. A worker from Metro approached me. Chairman, we did a barter arrangement with a company who gave us 400 bags of rice and some oil, boxes of oil. And when the leadership were sharing the rice, they gave us 5 kilos. This the statement, they give us 5 kilos. But say, the workers, the total workers as Metro are over just about a little over 200. So if they give even everybody one bag, they will still have a balance so that the leadership will take. But they give us 5 kilos and 1 bottle oil and say, what even alarm is that the workers who pack the rice to the warehouse, they came to inform us that the rice is 400 bucks. They have cheated us. I wasn't at Metro. You see the feedback they've given me. You see how the whole thing. So the worker have a kind of mistrust about leadership. That emono na ye 400. Ana mo chiche. Enka obia benya one bag. Ebi beka ama se empenifo ma den mache. Ba mo yi 5 kilos. and a mom. And then munu into almost say munu big warehouse or and a boxes na why idea. You see the feedback that is coming here. So is this thing we don't solve it and determine, if we determine as leader to solve it, we will solve it. If we say we will do share this in them, so I'm pleading with that by June. If we go and find out any and all these things, communication, feedback, like employment, there are two notice boards so people can come and look at it. You have sent, you have even informed. These are all small, these all things, they are all small things, oh, very, very small things. And I think if we do it, it will help us. I'll allow you to speak. I'll allow you to speak. So I'm pleading that I'll be there, then people will come rent. Say my rent issues. I want money to go and pay for my rent, which should have been your issue. Then they will come and walk to me. You understand? I've done that openness in such a way that they don't see me that executive chairman who, if you want to get to him, is difficult. You also have to avail yourself. When we started this business, there was a time that I'll buy kinky fish. Then I will sit with the mechanics, the workshop people. Then we eat together. We eat together and then climatize and associate with them. These are small people's matters that we have to look at it. Somebody have gotten a car. The other person have not gotten a car. Then they will write to me, Yisi, I need a car. They wrote to you. You didn't, then you directed them that go to UC. You couldn't explain why the person is not having that car or something. But then you just direct the person. So these are small things that I think that it shouldn't be a problem at all. We should be able to solve it. So the counseling department is very important. Metro, you have to find a way to go and explain to the workers how they got the 5 kilo. It's very, because you see, you don't know where they are circulating this information. MD, are you getting my point? Was it $400? It's okay for now. Don't worry. But they come and told me. Who say $400 and your mom 5 kilo. Okay, so I'll give a mic to. So I'm pleading that we must get a system and a commitment, and that's why we are here. We have to get a commitment from here. If we don't get a commitment from here, nothing can achieve. And I'm pleading that we should look at it. I also want to talk about this restructuring that is happening. If we leaders, we don't hold it nicely. You see, the restructuring must start from we leaders. I can say that how can you have a serious restructuring? Then leaders are not involved. Then the employee who is not part of decision making is affected. You see that it will not be justice. Because you are the decision making. So if there's a restructuring, it must start from us. We take it up, embrace it, and work it well before we go to the employee. But if we still do restructuring and say, oh, it's to start from the bottom, and then you are sitting at the top, it will not be justice. That's why Nancy was saying, Jesus said, feed my sheep. You must feed them. So we must embrace it. It should start from holistically, we the leaders, taking it up. And then I'm also pleading that when we are having programs like that, we are just restricted with the mindset and ideas and the potentials of people. So please, if you want to share something with us or exploit your talent and other things, please kindly write your name. We can put you on a program so that you can share it with us. So please, sometimes we are limited with it comes in a rush and the idea. So please, we want to exploit talents. Like today, we're giving Nancy this platform to speak and other things. So you can boldly write to us both the board members, management, or all staff, so that we can squeeze some time. At least some 10, 20 minutes we can give you to also exploit your. It's not the intent that all the time we have to be profiling the people that we know all the time. No. The thing is that we have not known your capability and we don't have any means of getting it. So please just write to us. This is what you can share with us. And then we'll give you that platform also to share on that. So I'd like, please, Drissler, giving a comment, and then Mrs. Labi, and then we will summarize it up and end here.
The comment I wanted to add was, we're looking at it as a carrot and stick, like we're looking for sanctions, but let's look at it holistically. That means we have gaps in leadership, and what they know is what they're given. So aside the carrot and stick, what else are we doing? Because some of them are not, people are not doing. Maybe they do not even know how to do it. The kind of feedback, leadership feedback we give, we do 360 degrees. I don't know whether we go back to do one-on-one with each leader. Aside that, what the mentoring that we've been talking about, I've never had a mentor before in JustPon. So that's an example. If I was here, I've never been told these are my issues. So let's not just look at the issue and say we're putting punitive measures. Let's look at, okay, these are the people who are leading JustPon to the next stage. And these are the gaps we're seeing. How do we make sure that we are equipping them well so they become better leaders? I think that's what I wanted to add. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Mrs. Labi also want to make a comment.
Said most of the issues are not related to money, to funds. So as individuals, if we would all pledge that I wouldn't want to be associated with any of these individually, at the end of the day, collectively, we will be getting somewhere. So that is the feedback I wanted to give. Then on the counseling, as far back as June 6, 2024, Mr. Reverend Danso, together with myself, consulted Dr. Safo, and he brought a proposal on how to set up the counseling unit. So we identified an office at the present appointed time premises. So what we needed was to furnish. And that was when a fund crisis occurred. So we need to finish that facility and then we take off, because he also has a plan as to recruiting internally people who would be trained for the regions, and then the counseling will start. So work has been done on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So the counseling department immediately must be firm up. We bring Professor Safo. My second daughter too is a psychologist. She's also learning. In fact, let me tell you, if I tell you the letters she has been writing to me, because when people get to know that she's my daughter, they complains. So you come and tell me, Daddy, this and this and this and this are going on. I say, you just hold on. And this is a platform today. So Nancy have come to nail it right. All these issues are minor complaints. What I'm pleading is that if we commit ourselves today, this thing can be solved by June. Because there's nothing here that is difficult. Neglect of basic operational and welfare needs. If you don't have it and you find a nice way to explain to the world, they are human beings, they will understand. If it is there, to give it to them. And unfair and inconsistent reward and compensation practices, let's create it. Create it. If a worker knows that the money is in and you are not giving, they know. If it is not there they know. Very transparency. You are having this, what we call, is it town hall or what? Is it town hall or what?
Town hall.
Town hall meeting. Is it monthly or what?
Yes, it's monthly, but some people do quarterly.
People do quarterly. People do monthly. If you can even do bi-monthly, to have the views of the people inculcated into your plan, it will solve this problem. So if we are putting actions into this, by June, it will be over and then we'll look good. I'm not saying the punitive measures is what is going to force us to do it, but I just want us to commit. Leadership If you don't commit yourself to it, you cannot act. And complacency is one of the things that will always come in to just steal the leadership. So as for leadership, is I will do it and then you wash it off. I don't want to associate myself, as Mrs. Slaby said about it, and then we are there. Is it very clear now? Do we want this thing to stay with us up to June? No. So then let's just commit ourselves, get the people involved, and kill it off. Are you getting the point here? I want to commit myself to it and then get it. Let us be very transparent with the workers. Let us motivate them. And see, the motivating is not sometimes about money. Engaging them in decision making. Engaging them in decision making. I even said that your mechanic or driver must be sometimes be part of management meeting. What is wrong? When you are taking decision, the driver should be there. You even feel privileged. And then when there are issues, you even communicate nicely to the Charlie. These are the problems we are having. These are the challenges we are having. And it's just engagement and involvement. So I'm pleading that if we want to do something with this thing, shouldn't stay with us in the year 2026. It's about 2 years back. So if we have done something about it in 2024, we could have killed it. Now 2 years, we are still fighting with this. I'm pleading that enough is enough. We must kill it now. It shouldn't go with us cry to June. Then that's why we are doing this. So I beg us, we all have agreed that by June, if this, we go around and we find out this, we are not going to tell to the employees that this is what we have all decided. But it's our performance review that by June, when we do it up, we should get most of them. Is that all? As many as agree, say aye. The aye have it. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I'll finish. Okay, then thank you very, very much. Thank you. We will just stretch some 5 minutes and take the last one, and then we'll end it up. So let's be stretch if you want to use, have some place of convenience and other things, or feel free, and then we will stretch just 5 minutes, and then we look at it. Like I'm talking about the rice.
Because me and my plan.